Welcome to Part 3 of the Flash Flood and Burn Scar video series presented by the National Weather Service in Spokane. In Part 3, we will explain the definitions of National Weather Service watches, warnings, and advisories. In our previous video, we mentioned a flash flood watch. NWS forecasters will issue a flash flood watch when conditions look favorable for locally heavy rain. Weather observations, satellite imagery, and computer models help forecasters track moisture, instability, and upper-level winds. Some weather patterns are notorious for producing slow-moving thunderstorms. This illustration depicts a summertime weather pattern that favors flash flooding along and near the Cascade Mountains. This type of scenario would likely prompt forecasters to issue a flash flood watch. A watch does not mean flooding will occur, but you should be prepared because flooding is possible. Flash flood watches often cover several counties and may be issued a day or two before the heavy rain develops. In the text of a flash flood watch, forecasters include details about the watch. In these bulleted statements, we will tell you what kind of watch we are issuing. We tell you when the watch is in effect, where our primary areas of concern are, and why we have concerns about flash flooding. In this example, thunderstorms over burn scar areas will be capable of torrential downpours. Watches urge you to prepare for flooding. Warnings call you to take action. Forecasters rely heavily on radar imagery to issue flash flood warnings. For the flash flood that occurred on May 28th in the Carlton burn scar, we saw this strong thunderstorm on radar and issued a flash flood warning for the area within the green polygon. Flash flood warnings contain call to action statements like this one, warning motorists about the likelihood of debris flows and road washouts on Highway 153 between the communities of Methow and Twisp. Flash flood warnings are typically issued to cover a portion of a county or may cover portions of several counties. Warnings cover smaller areas than watches. Flash flood warnings activate the Emergency Alert System, or EAS, which means devices like NOAA weather radios and wireless emergency alert cell phones will be alarmed by flash flood warnings. Cable and satellite television providers may also interrupt programming with EAS for flash flood warnings. Flash flood warnings are issued for a significant threat to life or property. These pictures on the slide should help you visualize the dangers you may encounter when a flash flood warning is issued. Not all flooding is life-threatening. When forecasters expect flooding to cause significant inconvenience but not become life-threatening, a flood advisory is issued. It is important to mention that nuisance flooding can still be dangerous. For example, failing to slow down for water ponding on the road could cause a serious car accident. Like flash flood warnings, flood advisory polygons are issued for portions of one or more counties. By definition, flood advisories are not life-threatening, so they do not activate the emergency alert system. Your weather radio or cell phone will not alarm you when a flood advisory is issued. In summary, a flash flood watch means you should be prepared because weather conditions look favorable for the potential for flash flooding. A flood advisory means you should be aware that flooding is occurring, but is probably more of a nuisance than a threat to life. A flash flood warning means that it is time to take action. There is a heightened risk of life-threatening flash flooding. This is a good time to mention that it takes much less rain to cause flash flooding on burn scars, so the margin of error between an advisory flooding and warning flooding has become increasingly small. For a year or two following a wildfire, residents near burn scars should take flood advisories more seriously than in the past. We may also see flood advisories more frequently upgraded to flash flood warnings since the rain threshold for flash flooding has become pretty low. Lastly, be aware that it does not necessarily need to be raining at your location for flash flooding to impact your area. Burn scars heighten the potential for rapid runoff to spill into nearby valleys. Simply looking out your window may not be enough to keep you and your family safe. For residents of burn scar areas, receiving timely weather information will be more important than ever. With that said, Part 4 of our video series will discuss technologies that can help residents of burn scar areas receive weather warnings and statements. For more information on National Weather Service flood products, visit this flood safety website.